they go and win a Tier 1 tournament.
Yeah.
And I mean, we saw that with Oakland, obviously with NIP's run and everything. They are a bit of a unique conundrum in that sense. But we're getting right into the game here. It's T-side start for NIP on Dust 2. Astralis to defend. Actually, a little bit notable as well. No diffuse kit on the side of Astralis.
They don't plan to let them plant, and oof, well, that could go awry fast. Lekro, the first to find the frag, but Dupree quick to connect as well. A device is coming from behind. Get right. Oh dear, he's not punishing them. They're just sitting ducks. Device can't find the shots. The USP, yes, it's Silence Magisk. He's loud though, finds 2 on the B defense. Lekro's trying to get across, and Zipnix is there. My goodness, it's complete chaos, but we have Astralis finding the pistol.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, plan work to perfection. Don't let them plan.
I mean, that's the secret, right? That's the strat. And that is an AUG round 2.
Ooh.
Okie dokie artichoke.
It's without head armor as well. That's the thing that's scary for me. Normally, you'd see people only make that investment if they can afford the head armor as well, because you know you're going up against, not AKs. So it makes sense to invest into it.
I guess in his mind, he's just going to try and play as long range as he can. I think he's going to be responsible for that B in mid. So I guess
and if you have to pick 3 players, right? Like you're okay with picking up an AUG pretty much at any given time. It's like Magisk, Leech, those 2 are definitely up there. I always see that time and time again. Yeah. So I guess you can't really fault him.
I mean, watching their game versus Ents on this very map, Astralis...
Oh, that was such a tight affair.
So close, yes, and Ents really did push them, and Ents have looked fantastic here in Sao Paulo. But it was notable for me that just how comfortable they are with the AUG spray.
Him and Zipnix?
Yeah, both scoped in, both making it look so easy. It's very easy to get thrown off when you're spraying with a locked-in vision. I mean, it's just not something you're used to, right? If you're scoped in, you're firing 1 bullet.
Yeah, and it's kind of like disconnecting your brain, because the spray pattern, it's the same, but it acts differently in your head because you're zoomed in. Environment is just different, right? And that's something they seem to have just had no problems adapting to, which is obviously a massive advantage for them, because it makes them that much more lethal at range. Well, we'll see though. NIP have opted for an investment onto Draken. That's a scout. The rest of them are not really investing all that much. Lekro with a Deagle. The rest of them sitting on Glocks. Might be like an interesting 3rd round buy. We've seen that a couple of times actually with NIP, where Draken just stuck with the Deeg, the rest of the team buying up, and I mean it's been doing him decent favors, I guess, so far.
He's going to look to do him dirty with the scout. They start to get to short, uncontested, but that's...
We do actually have a second AUG as well, so Sip did pick it up. Yeah, he has that armor.
But they've let them get this far, and that's kind of all part of the game plan from Astralis, because as they start to get closer, this is where those pistols should work. Got a Deagle on 1. Lekro is starting to charge, but they're not looking. They're flashed. Their frag device is the one to finish Glaive's handiwork. 4 for him as he gets the cherry on top with the sidearm and even upgrades it to conclude round 2.
That's 3 assists on the side of Glaive.
And that's a second scout from Draken. So he accepted that he was going to have 2 rounds.
Now.
Yeah, try and be the hero.
And to be fair, you can do a lot of tag damage. Again, we talk about double doors. How players have even talked about how Dust 2 is, I guess, inherently flawed because of that double doors. Because you allow the T's. It's the only map where T's can get contact points with the CTs that early on. And again, having to spend utility as a CT side is not something you want to do that early. But again, a scout can definitely pay dividends here if he just finds a connection. And even just doing tag damage is obviously going to make the life of his teammates a lot easier.
That's for sure. Bomb left in spawn. Device tested by Forest. He's solo, unlikely to go wide on this double door. He's thinking about it. He has crossed just in the nick of time, but Device, he wins that 100% of the time. Crosses and eliminated. Forest, he tried to apply early pressure. Middle, Device just greets him with a smile and a bullet. And so now NIP, they start to coagulate their resources.
Well, as they do though, again, Astralis completely comfortable giving up cat control. We saw actually, towards the end of the end scheme as well, they were allowing them to actually get up on cat. Yeah. Every now and again, at most, it would be Zipnix holding that fox angle, as we call it, and then drop down into CT spawn. And I mean, if it works for Astralis. I mean, they have proper setups. Obviously, usually you'd see Device or Zipnix is in this situation, playing from slope, and they kind of play off each other, tag teaming.
Double flash.
Yep. It's going to be the B split, though.
It's going to be Dupree and Magisk. They start to spring into action. The nade looks good as well. Magisk is taking the fight. He's going aggressive. He's bringing the fight to them, and they thrive. 3 now as Dupree wraps it up with a long-range UMP connection towards tunnels. And that is going to be a very, almost seamless round from Astralis. They lost 1. Magisk fell after taking 2. But a very comfortable hold against the weapons of NIP. This is what's so interesting about Astralis' CT side, is this opening setup from them, it's been so passive. Yeah. There's like 3 players, they start long, they end up just sitting on site holding Angs. The same could be said for B. There's no tunnels pushing. There's no mid-doors flirtation. And yet, when you look at the ends game, when you get to round 30, those guys are pushing long, pushing short. They have a lot of looks. And at this point, it's the passive one. Device responsible for Jaws early. Rez, he takes that orb out of his hands fast. Dupree quick to fill the gap, but can he connect? He wants to try and keep that orb out of hands, such as Get Right. He managed to pick it up, scavenges it away, and hasn't lost too much health.
Let's see if he actually drops that off.
Shots from Rez. Wow.
That's danger. There's another one on forwards as well. Not exactly the worst player to have it on either. But there, right? Not renowned for his opping. Giving it a go here through the smoke, and his...
They boost. They do.
Yeah.
Oh, Get Right. You're just not going to see this coming. Magisk, in the meantime, you can see he's just locked on B. No one's going to be challenging that. Forrest thought about it.
Get Right actually dropped off the box, so without knowing it, saves his own life.
This could have some delayed satisfaction, though. Keep your eyes on Forrest. He's likely going to jump on that box. Oh, just a little too soon. They didn't have the short for the trade. Get Right caught Glaive, though. And now Zipnik's tested on long. He's got 1. He's got 2. No worries. Lekro and Rez forced to watch now as Draken and Get Right try and make things happen. Make it just Draken. Does have the orb.
Could do some damage here.
His specialty. Oh, catches a little tip of an Astralis head, and Dupree. His movement just makes things so awkward for Draken.
It's like sliding up and down like a wobbly fashion.
Gives him time to get the crosshair in the right position and then pre-fire on the move. Yeah. Lovely work from Dupree. Draken didn't have a chance.
Yeah. Solid work by Sipnix as well. And like this is kind of the unfair advantage that the Astralis has. Like they can leave solo players. It feels like they have anyone on that team can be an anchor.
Right. Well, you leave Magisk on B and they come B, he gets 3.
Yeah.
You leave Zipnix on A, he got long on lock. It just looks so comfortable at the moment for Astralis. Strong individuals. Yes, team play like no one else, but you put them in a 1v1, they win. And Magisk, he's in a 1v2, does get traded. Lekro pays a heavy price though, as he's flashed out, throws one of his own as he tries to bait with the shot.
Yeah, Sipnik's not going to bite for now. At least they have gotten partial control of long. So they probably want to get Draken with that off down into the pit. The question is how they're going to do it. So smoke on the corner. Draken is in position now. Wouldn't be surprised if you see them bail out as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if as soon as long is gone, look at Glaive, look at Device. Even Zipnix is about to get out of that, using that smoke to cross back into safety. They just don't adopt any angles now that the long's gone. They boost. Notice that it's not elevator boosted. It's actually further back. It should be safe, but not when Get Right's on short. Finds the frag. Now numbers favor Nip.
This is for the first time, Astralis being put in a very awkward position. Kind of trapped on the bomb site. It would favor NIP in a situation like this. Oh, that's so ballsy.
Brave. It's Zipnix.
He does have an AUG. Does get punished eventually, but Draken making the connection. Glaive, see if he can actually find something through the smoke. That's Lekro actually who's going to get the better of him. Dupree, 1v4. Now is at least close to the bomb site, if nothing else.
He had a go. He had a go. Nade towards ramp's not going to catch Lekro. Lands on site. Now he chooses to back away. He just wants to take weapons away. Let's not forget NIP. They are not sunshine and rainbows right now.
Very much not. Rez, currently the highest earner on the side of NIP, sitting at 1,400. So they want to do everything in their power to stay alive. Then again, though, now we actually get to see a bit more of an, I guess, fun scenario of the new economy coming into work, right? Because the Astralis haven't gotten this 8-round buffer kind of ordeal, so even though they get reset, it's not the end of the world. Now they're actually going to be a little bit pressed for money after this buy because, well, Dupree holding onto his weapon, that's great. Glaive is not in a perfect situation.
Oh, hang on. No, he's not running out of time. He won't be able to push that corner. He certainly doesn't want to push that corner. He wants to keep hold of his AK as well. Just a little toying with the idea as we are going to be jumping back into a full NIP buy. And Astralis, you said it already,
they're going to have
next round's important.
Yeah, it's very important for them as well. Device using all his money. Same thing for Sipnix as well. Magisk is the only one with a little bit of cash left over. Obviously, that saved weapon on the side of Dupree is going to do wonders for them. But this is, you know, in many ways, a final stand for Astralis, you know, at this point of the game.
Dupree and Magisk, they've yet to truly be tested from tunnels. I mean, it was a mid-B previously where they passed with flying colors. Now Magisk and Dupree, they're going to have to deal with it elsewhere. A smoke chases the Molotov and immediately just buys them 20 seconds where they don't have to worry about tunnels. Magisk given the responsibility of staring at the smoke. Dupree casts his eyes towards mid as Zipnix starts throwing nades towards tunnels, and of course it connects. Utility damage, another factor of Astralis' dominance, and we see evidence of it every single game.
Yeah, and now that they're given a new look, again, like off the spawn points, this is something that Astralis can figure out depending on how they spawn themselves. When NIP have solid long positions right from the get-go as they push into mid here with Raz.
Oh, and he's pushed up.
Yeah. And the thing here with Astralis is that they can afford to do different types of setups initially, and that's why you saw Zipnix playing aggressively on Cat initially, and they have Device actually peering into Cave for a long period of time, which is something they did versus Ends towards the end of the game a lot, and actually netted them a lot of success too.
So they're making plenty of noise on short, trying to get the CTs looking in that direction. No presence on long. Device still committed to it. Zipnix there to support. They're almost... For once, it seems like Astralis have a bit of a misread, but no, actually, tell a lie. They're just simply setting Device up to hold short. Here's AWP, better than Zipnix Org, certainly with limited utility. It's plenty for NIP at this point in time. Nothing for the CTs. What is it? Two flashes?
Yeah. How wide is Draken going to go? They got 20 seconds to do something here.
Magisk, I think he hasn't moved. He's had his hand off the keyboard for what has been about 60 seconds. Now the challenge comes in. Dupree, his responsibility is Dawn 2, charging through the smoke. Dupree, he's everywhere. And Magisk, patience rewarded. 2, 3. Rez lined up to window. And now Draken, he is all the way up the creek. No paddle to be seen to keep hold of his AWP, but that is just a very meek silver lining.
And that's such a solid round for Astralis. The second they're pushed against the wall, and you know their economy is going to be an iffy factor, even if they continue to win there, you know, get that round back, if they do that, you know, in a clutch situation, they survive with one player, it's still going to be enough for NIP to be able to put pressure on them. But as you said, you know, give Magisk an AUG, put him on the B-bomb side, he's going to get 3 frags.
Sometimes watching Astralis play, it just, they make their opponents look silly.
They do.
Like, this is the same NIP that pushed them 16-14 on this very map not too long ago, so this year, this month. Quite a different story now. Certainly to start things off, 5-1.
And again, it's that solo A-long defender on the side of Astralis. This time it's not Device. Glaive is going to be peering close to the smoke. Probably not opting to push into that. Not quite as brave as Stewie, but why say that? He actually does push.
Every nade is so calculated. By throwing that nade,
gives him a little bit of extra time, a little bit of leeway in terms of having Get Right forced out of a position.
It also obscures the cross. I mean, if he was to kind of go wide on Taxi, that HE smoke will give a little bit of a guise for Glaive to push up on. So long held, and that's committed. Get Right still lingering there. The bomb's still top of mid. They're not
They're not sure what to do, I think. I mean, one of the things that you really enjoy as a T-side team on Dust 2 is getting cat control. But usually you have to fight for a little bit. You have to flash a corner, you have to move somebody off that Fox position.
I thought Glaive was pushing, but of course he doesn't, because he doesn't need to. There is absolutely no need for him to move a muscle. He has long on lock, and that means that Zipnix and Device can dedicate all eyes to short. Is that... okay, it's a boost.
Is it about to be a run boost?
Another smoke. And they can see over it. But Glaive's already caught one. Get Right finally decided to check out long, but Glaive...
He had already pushed out. And here's the cross. You talked about a Device from that car position. So dangerous if you don't have the flash, just push him away.
Oh, it's a massacre.
It's just a tag team action, back and forth. If it's not one guy attacking, it's the other, and you don't really know where to look. And again, it's Draken on his lonesome. 10 seconds left.
We've been here before.
Yeah, we really have. I mean, some might say it's a bad movie script, but, you know, it is what it is. And I think it's a bit of a question mark for NIP, because normally you'd have to put in a little effort and a little bit of a fight to actually be able to get cat control, and you feel pretty good about it because you do pretty solid executes from Catwalk. But with the passive setup that Astralis have, they're just so good at actually punishing that.
Device found 3 in this round, and they just line up. Look at this aggressive. Great angle from him, just takes the tip of Draken's head off, and still no timeout, and a little bit of a flurry of aggression through the Molotov. Forest does thrive, and it's going to be Glaive actually to find Rez, a second founder as well with a nade. Now Zip into the high. This is it. They just stack up their resources in all the right places. The only man separated from the pack was Draken. Quiet in this game so far. 1 kill to his name here in round 6.
For now, though, there is an opportunity for NIP here. Again, if they continue with what they've done with pressuring A, there is only Device. And I say only Device, that is a bit of a daunting task to take on, but at least you don't have Zipnix and Magisk to worry about in addition to him.
Is he going aggro? He's certainly pushing up a little bit.
This could be the timing they need on Nip.
That's so quick. He's not going to find the second Draken. Fortunately for NIP, not only does he get the AWP, he does have the bomb, and the low health player got caught. He has enough health to work with here for the 1v2.
The question is, can he find someone before the bomb plant goes down? He's actually just going to commit to it right away.
You have to be thinking about short. You have to be conscious of it. He jumps for info. Questionable from Draken, and Dupree greets him with an AK of his own. A quick headshot. They're going to be quickly just delaying that defuse, get the weapons in the right hands.
They want an AK and an AWP, I'm assuming.
An AK on short after Device's handiwork, and there we have it. 7 now for Astralis, and they are looking so comfortable. This is just a walk in the park for the Danes at this moment in time. NIP, they need to go back to the drawing board and try something else. They've tried quick long, they've got short for free, what feels like almost every round, however, which you just described as a dream scenario for a T-side. But it's a nightmare.
Yeah, it really is, and I guess one thing that we saw ENCE having success with a couple of rounds in a row versus Astralis on their T-side, again, it was a long push, but they did very differently from how NIP are approaching it, and that was with the corner smoke on long. And you can see so many times when we've seen NIP pressure this area, it's either Sipnix or Magisk widening on the corner. If there's a smoke down there, they don't have the opportunity to actually find early frags. They can try to, spam through the smoke, but that's a bit of a wild guess, right? You don't want to spend all your bullets, and all of a sudden you have an NIP player coming flying through it with a pop flash behind him, right?
The only round NIP have got on the board was when they acquired long control. Yeah. I mean, it was getting Draken into pit. It was a lot of pressure and a lot of smokes on that cross, and it forces the CTs into an uncomfortable scenario. Uncomfortable for Dupree, because he's playing the rest of this round with 49 points of health. He's responsible for middle. They're trying to punish it. You can see they set Forest immediately, spray through the smoke. They know the tag was there, or at least there's a good idea. Oh, Device is burning as well. Damage done. This time favors NIP to start things off.
Yeah, but this is not a typical... This is not your average setup on Dust 2. 3 players inside the B bomb site. And I mean...
And constantly moving. Like, they're not holding angles. They are dynamic.
And this is the thing. Like, NIP have been in this situation where, yeah, you've gotten cat control, and you've been allowed to execute off of it, but it hasn't done you anything. So do you go back to B? Like, do you go back to B split? Are you running into the trap that Astralis have set?
Absolutely they are. Zipnix's Molotov was enough for NIP to just completely back out. And there's 3 to receive. This is good, though. Get right and Rez. They've got one way in. It's on to Dupree. He's hiding in the smoke. Will they anticipate him? They will. Rez catches him in transition to door. NIP, they're well poised for the second round. I think Astralis are going to give it to them. Backing away now.
Yeah, they're taking the hardest road, though. I mean, Astralis had everything set up for success there.
I mean, the game plan worked.
Exactly.
You stack B, a couple of Molotovs and a couple of shots towards short, and they're scarpering towards the other side of the map.
Luckily for NIP, though, finally finding some success. Maybe not feeling like the only thing we can do is hope that we get a good long spawn and work off of that. Then obviously the tag from Draken actually does quite a bit, because Dupree becomes such an easy target compared to what it would have been, obviously, with full HP.
And we'll take a little look at those spawns. You talk of them. There's no doubt that NIP are going to want to try and seize that long spawn should they get it, but keep your eyes on the money as well. Zipnix saving that AUG.
Yeah, he was down to 2,200. And again, like, this is the reason why you're seeing Astralis not necessarily thinking about, like, oh yeah, I know we can, ruin their economy if we, eliminate 2 or 3 players more.
Right. They're
actually just so much more worried about them, because for how well they've done so far and how many rounds they've won in a row, they're still breaking bank at this point. It's Dupree with the most left over after buying. That's 2,300. That's not a lot on the CT side.
And that double AWP pays dividends. Lecro cut down to size early already. Rez was thinking about a trade. He is on Xbox.
Oh, Device, this is so brazen. How far are you going to go?
I mean, he's actually going to catch against up a gun, and that's enough for the punish. Is it, though? Yes, just before he gets around the corner. Rez, body shots galore, but it's enough. Device gone.
Oh, it's a pretty big part of the A defense for... okay then, Rez.
NIP's win condition is 3 letters, and it is REZ. This man, every time he walks into a site and finds the frags, they've converted. That's twice now. And that's, of course, speaking a little prematurely. I say converted. Will Astralis go for this? You've already talked about how limited their funds are.
Yeah, and I mean, you're trying to retake a bomb site on Dust 2 with an AWP. That's not ideal by any means. Really tough to do, and you need to activate Glaive as well. He's been able to push up pretty far here up to Car.
He's posturing. Re-smoke from Forest, I like this. Gives him a little bit of a safe spot to find the shot. He doesn't connect, and now Magisk has caught Rez. That is the head of the NIP Snake, but nice quick flick, and Forest has found two. Draken looking to find Glaive, the last man standing. He's got to back away. He doesn't have time. Does take a little consolation frag onto Forest, but he'll be getting away, saving that orb and the M4 respectively for Glaive. So, NIP find their third, and once again, off the back of a res entry, the guy has been doing it all for the Swedes.
Yeah, getting the trade on Catwalk there, absolutely instrumental for them to having any shot at the round. And even though that was a bit labored in terms of how many shots he needed, definitely didn't take the same amount of time with removing Zipnix from the server. But this is I don't think you do this if it's a 5-5 game type of thing.
Well, you say that.
Yeah, I guess they're brimming with confidence. They haven't been able to do much wrong, have they?
I mean, Astralis, they play so passively for the first 5 rounds on the CT side, and then suddenly there's a flurry of aggression.
Oh, speaking of,
Magisk does them
if you don't have an AWP, why not bring a Deagle to the
it's like a $700 orb. You just have to get your eyes close to the screen, right? Flash does nothing.
Oh, Glaive is spotted. Get right there. It's not going to give him the invitation to find a frag, though.
Okay, this is going to be game-defining. If they continue to lose players to what is essentially a hero M4 from Glaive from the previous round, NIP are in serious doo-doo.
That is one way of putting it. Magisk, though, already connected once. Can't get the drop. He's tacting it up to try to find the frag on Lekro. Dupree not able to really put the hurt into him with the USP.
Oh, do you see that? He had to expose himself for the Deagle. He was so hesitant, tentative now, but he's got himself a weapon he has done ridiculous things with. My eyes roll back to Atlanta, and I'm sure Lekro's roll back to his skull as he's gone down. Now Glaive's got another with the M4. Draken finds one onto Dupree. Numbers favor Astralis, and time still plentiful. They don't have to rush this. Draken and Rez, they're separated and eliminated. Device catches Rez. Oh dear.
It's happened again, hasn't it?
They had one weapon. A couple of Deagles sprinkled in there for good measure, and now Draken, he has to save the day. 25 seconds, the pre-aim is rewarded. Glaive gone. But they have, in the meantime, got weapons. And they, yes, no Kevlar. It's an orb. It makes such a little difference.
Yeah, they also have a backstab. That's Device. Got an Aegis to his name. Bomb's going to go down. So some money made, at least for NIP, but can't get them out of this.
It's quick. Draken's got two. He needs to find a third. It's Zipnix. Of course it's Zipnix. It's a clutch in favor of Astralis. A 10-second defuse, and Astralis find their 8th with a measly economy. That's terrible. That is curtains for the Ninjas in Pajamas, especially on their T side. That was a freebie.
That should have been a freebie.
Should have been.
Yeah, it really should have been. Magisk just finding that connection right off the bat in mid. And I mean, oof, that could have been such a big swing for NIP as well.
Right.
Even, I mean, looking at how it could have panned out, you know, we've had NIP on 4 rounds. Astralis not with an ideal by any means going into the next one. You know, and at that stage, you think to yourself, like, okay, this could very well be the point where we actually see NIP even things out. We do get an even first half. That's kind of understandable. That's pretty much what happened as well at the major, right? Like they had a pretty even first half as well, and they kept fighting back and forth all the way to the bitter end. All 30 rounds being played that time.
Whew. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't do it against Deagles. Now you've got to do it against a full buy. Double AWP, double AUG. It's a brick wall that Astralis do build every single time that full buy comes in on the CT side of Dust 2.
Well, let's see, though. Can they get a connection? Forrest hasn't fired off a shot yet. So, escape the damage. This time, no smoke, but Draken there with an AWP.
That's huge. Nearly clutching for NIP the round prior. He opens this one up, round 12, as the nade catches Lekro and is finished off. Look at this hold from Glaive. He's doing everything in his power to keep these guys back. I was going to say one man on a mission, but he has support now. Draken, his responsibility is to find Device. Should he go wide? Nice patience rewarded for the Swede.
They know that Glaive is down here.
Nades galore. They just want to force him out of position, but he still manages to get one. This is absurd. Forrest is missing his shots. Glaive's got another. Long is his. And NIP, they had the numbers, they had the weapons, they had the nades, but it could not force this man off. In-game leader, but a highly rated one at that. He can frag, and he demonstrates it here in round 12.
Where do you go from here, Draken?
He's taunting him with his pistol.
He's getting so backed in as well. Like, I think the only option he had was to push forward earlier on. Now Astralis is just all around him.
You have to take that fight, but as soon as you do, you expose your bottom to Magisk, because Glaive is playing that tight corner, now goes for the aggression. That, an uncharacteristic mistake, nearly catches Magisk on car.
All right, Astralis, no need to pressure here. for the time being. Can't fool Magis with a pistol drop.
That felt impossible.
Yeah.
Couldn't even see him. Felt like he hadn't even exposed himself, but it was enough for Magisk.
A 9th round on the board for Astralis is what that means as well. We did see double ops. So we're going to see a buy coming in. Oh, the fact that he stays alive for so long. The flashes that they're thrown down into pit doesn't do anything to him. It's unfortunate as well that, you know, that's the situation where you don't want to double op if you're NIP. Yeah. If you have an AK on forward, it's so much easier for him to actually put pressure on Glaive while Rez is holding his angle. Smokes down, Molotovs, everything. And Lecro.
Okay, Magiska's flash, that gives them some ground to cover, but the Molotov actually taught Get Right out. Just the flames. And Lecro, are you okay? Blindfolded, still gets 2 as the nade from Glaive does connect finally. 3v3, a Scout, a MAC-10, and a Deagle. The bomb is in the B site. Forest has got the responsibility of keeping Tons under lock and key. I say
How is he so patient?
Why is he holding that? So clever.
Oh, Patrikian still keeping hope alive here.
Bomb's not down. Looks like Rez is doing so right now.
So they have a pretty tight crossfire as it is right now. Draken from double box, holding window.
Oh,
Rez.
There's a molly on Xyp9x.
Oh,
that
God.
could make things very uncomfortable if they don't challenge him, and they do. They know where he is. It's a very clear retake, should they attempt it.
The issue for Xyp9x is, does he feel comfortable throwing it out? Yeah, because he has to expose himself while throwing it. Can he find anything? Time is ticking now.
That should be the sign.
Yep.
That's going to be time to wave the white flag. Bye-bye. And the 4th for NIP.
They went around off of a double entry frag from Lecro on 1 HP.
He pushed through the Molotov. Get right. Wait, what?
All right, then.
I was looking at Vendetta. I looked back and they're all gone. Okay. Device collateral to
to ruin the economy of NIP.
That's
some well-earned XDs in NS in chat. Rez saying, yeah, that was
nice.
Yeah, well,
those sarcastic NSs in chat.
Yeah, Rez actually just saying that that was dirty, and definitely was.
And Astralis, for what feels like just the 2nd time in this game, are forced into an awkward buy. It's a Scout, Warp, UMP, and a sidearm for Xyp9x. Glaive once again on his signature M4. He did so much with it when they did get pressured on long.
And you have to think for NIP, this is a must-win round, right? You have to get closer. You have to get a 9-6 to feel good about this half. And I mean, if you do, that's a good start.
A really good start. Xyp9x, that smoke's going to be just in the nick of time, and Device's aggression on long was timely. Gets Get Right out of the equation, and now is there to catch them on short. That's 1. They need to force him off. They can't. Forest gone 2. Not a 3rd. Of course it is. Headshot only. He's playing deathmatch. And just Draken left, of course he goes down. Device, so powerful. An ace from the Danish AWPer, and he dismantles the Ninjas. His team, they had a shoddy buy. He had his signature weapon, and he finds his 20th frag in that ace. So dominant on Dust 2. We talk about his dynamic AWPing, and you just get more and more evidence of it.
Straight up incredible. But again, like, there's a bit of a common denominator whenever NIP moves up towards that catwalk space, because they're getting it, so they don't have to use too much utility to actually get to that space. They're not using enough flashes to actually flash off card. That's well, pretty much every team in the world has done this at some point. But it continues to happen over and over again.
Of course he's on short, and of course he finds Forest. Wow, I just want to watch a POV stream of Device, because he has been all over this map.
Really has. Forced out of the fight right away. Oh, that is so quick.
So quick. Pressure applied through the doors and pays off. Draken, a rare frag through double doors on Dust 2.
Well, it does take a bit of damage for it, but at least you get a man back. Whereas outdoors, I'm still posturing pretty aggressively here. Nice nade. A nice shot onto Draken as well. Whereas needs to back out. Well, no trades in order just yet. Lecro does finally find Magisk, but the damage has already been done here. 1v3 situation. Does have the bomb, but he doesn't know about Dupree.
And the thing here is Dupree doesn't know about Lecro. If Lecro does continue this walk to B, it's wide open. Highly unlikely he makes this mistake. I say wide open. It is held at the moment by Xyp9x. Past 10th deleted. Now Dupree's flank is rewarded. We find 11 on the CT side for Astralis. That's a first half that NIP are going to want to forget. I certainly will remember, though, because that's 21 in 1 half from Device on that AWP.
He was such a nuisance. Didn't matter if NIP were attacking long or if they were attacking short. He seems to be everywhere. And again, it's that, what you mentioned, that just dynamic movement, being able to position yourself perfectly depending on what's being thrown at you at every single moment. And he's not going to miss a lot of shots.
And that long look, like that round, he started it off by just being solo. He did this previously versus Ents. He just is given the responsibility of long, and he just walks up there. Holds the angle aggressively towards Taxi, Get Right eventually deleted, and by that time he's got time to rotate and catch the short push. It's just brutal, and now, speaking of brutal, 4 men from Astralis charging in towards the B site. Reggie's not ready, and neither am I, because 2 already gone. This looks impossible. What can you do? You're smoked, you're dead. It's over, my goodness. Bomb down, pistol round concluded by the classic call, Rush B. Turns out when you've got players like Astralis, look at Get Right's face. I think it says it all.
Dejection.
Yeah, dejected, stiff upper lip necessary.
All right, now though, he just has to hope that somebody from Astralis gets trigger happy and just runs at him. Even then, they still kind of have a bit of a backup. Magisk might give himself up here, or not.
Okay, now that is just a embodiment of this game. It's
it really is.
It's so brutal. You're just trying to keep hold of that Kevlar. You're having a go. Magisk comes elephanting up mid, turns his back, has time to adjust, and hits that shot. This is tough for NIP. This is a brutal game of Counter-Strike to witness, and I'm glad I'm doing it with you, Vendetta. That's the face I was talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I'll be your, what's it called again? A support animal, I was about to say. You know, like
support animal?
Yeah, you know the things they bring on planes, right?
Oh, yeah. I
Emotional, whatever.
And Dupree just lining them up on long. No worries there. This will be the 13th for Astralis.
Yeah, I mean, if Astralis haven't made NIP need an emotional distress animal kind of a thing service, then definitely a therapy session after this. It is just so brutal.
I mean, I've played games of Counter-Strike where it feels impossible, but it just no one has proven.
Happen every time,
no one
right?
has proven that it is possible. I mean, you know, like those players that I'm losing to, they lose too. Astralis, they just haven't, and they don't.
And I mean, we thought that okay, maybe Dust 2 might be a bit of an opener for teams
a
again.
possibility.
Right? Yeah, I mean, we saw them play 2 very narrow games to start things off in the entire tournament, but it seems like they haven't taken a lot of time to really figure out how to do this.
Major champions demonstrating exactly why.
This time it's going to be Lekro on the op, and he connects with Dupree. So success rate high so far for the Swedish in-game leader.
I almost forgot. We are going to see some M4A1Ss. I forgot that, you know, that there is an NIPCT side that we get to see. Whether or not we see much of it, well, that's down to them.
Yeah, Resin, Forest going back with the update changes, obviously. Also, the 2 players holding that B bomb site. So a lot of silenced action going on over there. But it seems like Astralis, they want to take a page out of NIP's book. Let's see if they can do it better. Again, similar setup in many ways from NIP in terms of how they're deciding to hold this passive A side.
But the flashes you were talking about them, an absence of them from NIP's T side, I imagine Astralis, quite a different plan. That goes. Draken completely blinded, forced to back away. It's actually Lekro who's now forced between a rock and a hard place. They're pushing up. He has to crouch. They're already on site. Lekro's patience, though. He finds an angle, finds a frag, as does Draken. That's a fantastic conclusion. A gorgeous round from Lekro. 4 with the AWP.
That was no armor as well. So the second he gets tagged, it's game over.
Yeah. I mean, he had a molly and a flash thrown in his direction. There was a smoke in front of him. He still managed to find 4 close quarters with that big green gun. An important round from Lekro. We can see that again. It started in middle and immediately able to find the multitude of frags.
And you can see, like, Astralis are doing a pretty good job, actually, of making the most out of the utility as they push forward. Because at first, Lekro gets flashed off of his initial position, which is just peering right over the solo box. Then he has to fall back into pit. While that's happening, you think to yourself, Dragon's going to take over his responsibility, but he also gets flashed out by Car. That's something that never really happened with Sipnix and Device when they were working that tandem action on the bomb site. Luckily for NIP, though, Lekro does an amazing job of being able to adapt on the fly. He's peering into mid. Gets some support here from Lekro. Lekro's actually given up the op as well. He's giving that to Draken this time.
You get a quad kill.
And you're just like, yeah, no, you're better off.
All right, you take that one.
I've done my part. This is how you do it. Just rinse, repeat.
Yeah, there's a little tutorial. Let's see if Draken can replicate that performance into round 19. 13-5. If you have just joined us, Astralis have just been giving us a masterclass on the Dust 2 CT side, now forced to the T.
This time a bit of a weaker A setup on NIP because Lekro is so close to push the door. That means he does have the opportunity to get a quick flank. He also has to be aware of how much time he actually has to play with. Ooh, that's quick. That's very quick, and that's very needed as well because as soon as that smoke fades, he needs to get out of dodge. And if he's stuck on the wrong side, pretty much on the B side of double doors, that's an issue. And ooh, the
what is Dupree up to?
CT spawn drop. Force is ready for it though, so quick trade. You're happy about that if you're NIP, but I'm not sure if they caught Glaive dropping down as well.
Where is he? He's just sitting in CT spawn. So much power from this position, and get right, while he did catch Device, the bomb from Xyp9x is going to start to maneuver towards CT as well. Caught off, both of them. Quick succession. Draken, he finds his 12th frag. And now the 6th for NIP. Things starting to look pretty damn good in the buy. I imagine non-existent from Astralis this round.
Yeah, no reason for them to really invest into this one, sitting at around 2K. It's a bit of a swing between 1900 to 2003 on the Danes. And this is a good opportunity finally for NIP to get some money on the board. Again, we've seen them doing double ups. They're doing it again. And if that's how they're going to approach this CT side, they need a lot of money.
I like that from Forrest, not only for info, but also just to keep them guessing. He has the smoke to cross back, that smoke thrown to keep the T's guessing as to how many numbers are on B. The answer at the moment, just 1. They start to gather towards middle. That's not easy. He can easily get overwhelmed by a Glock train right now if he's holding that solo. Does have support from Lekro. It's okay.
Spots one. Finds one as well. Make that 2. Forced down to 3 in Glaive. Might get a 3rd there. As Astralis push up catwalk, but here's, yeah, there you talk about it. The Glock train. Lekro, though, luckily for 4 is there to back him up. Force probably not going to re-peak with 17 HP at this point. Bomb also dropped in a very nice position for Lekro to just deal with this.
Yeah, that's a dream. An unarmored opponent has to walk straight into your crosshair if they want to win the round, and it meets its predictable conclusion.
Yeah.
That's the 7th now for NIP. On this T side, Astralis, their T side of Mirage has been under scrutiny from themselves, especially. Yep. But I don't think it's a generalized T side issue. Perhaps just one map. We'll see if NIP can continue to exploit once the weapons are back in the hands of Astralis, and they certainly are.
Yeah. Lekro definitely doing his part in terms of keeping up on ADR. Look at that. 3 ops.
Triple AWP from NIP, and it pays off. Forrest catches Device. I wish we'd seen it. Now Dupree locked out from the B site. That speed is going to be taken straight away from him, and he was supposed to be there. Look at this. It's a stack from Astralis. They choose to smoke it late, and now Forrest, he's got another one. He started this round. He intends to finish it. There's 2 more in tons. The smoke's going to be pushing them off. You don't want to walk through that now. You know Forrest is there, and he's hitting his shots.
Yeah, that also allows you to get into a forward position. We saw him pretty much grabbing Device in the back in the previous round. He's in a prime position to do so once more. This time though, Magisk and Xyp9x working as a duo up cat. Only Lekro here, but he's been very proficient with the AWP, and he continues to be so. Smoke goes down a little bit too late. Jumpily spots it. That's optimistic, Xyp9x.
I think Xyp9x is he's sending a submission to FaZe Clan.
Yeah. Well, got to get those 360 no-scopes in there.
Absolutely. So,
triple op setup working out perfectly.
We found the kryptonite, right? Now we know the counter to Astralis T-side is triple AWP, obviously.
This is actually something, again, you have to be pretty crazy to do it, but I remember back to when VP obviously were the plow. When they were struggling, especially on a map like Train, they would oftentimes go to triple op. And teams would just be so confused because you can't really go anywhere without having to expend a significant amount of utility without running into an op. So, yeah, it's just a wonky, unnatural thing to play against that teams don't really know how to get the grasp of it.
They double peak doors low and high, which just means you are going to be you are going to be traded. You are going to die.
Yeah.
And it certainly works out well for them. Again, Draken with the AWP this time. That's Dupree gone. It's just Eagles, don't forget that. But they have previously, in this game alone, won with a similar buy.
I just don't know. A lot of distance between NIP and the potential attacking points of Astralis. They're not going to venture out to mid just yet. They don't have any flashes as well, so there's not going to be anything to catch NIP off guard outside of bomb rushing through a smoke.
They've been given a mid control. Draken is holding this cross though.
Actually, yeah, it does damage onto Magisk as well. Okay, then. Magic, even though he does down Glaive, as a result of that double tag, he finds at least the return.
I mean, this is just theory Counter-Strike. Yes, they've only got pistols, but they get a pick on B, regroup, and now I think he could be caught.
Is that the play?
Oh, Rez, you could be in trouble here. They're starting to get so much control. He's chosen to go with the AWP. Now they apply pressure. He's missing his shots. Fortunately, Lecro isn't, and that's the 9th. They're on fire. NIP 5 in a row.
And is he going to get the AWP? No.
Oh,
he actually opts to get a deagle instead.
Oh, that was a scary, scary sequence of events for Rez, stabilized by Lecro, who has been having a fantastic game, hasn't he? 22 frags now. He's almost on par with Device, who had a heroic first half on the defense. So lots of credit to be given to Lecro. Let's not forget, in-game leader for the NIP boys. We talked about, in our previous cast, we talked about leaders that are kind of thrust into that role, not necessarily by choice.
Natural leaders are by choice necessarily, but just like, oh, that's the only role we really have vacant.
A prime example right there.
Yeah, that is very true. And he's definitely stepping up to it. I mean, that could have gone so bad. But Frez doesn't find that one frag. I mean, just the timing of it all, you just see it imploding in front of you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh, now this is how Astralis wins. Like, this is how it turns.
It's like watching a car crash in slow motion, you know? You can just see it coming.
It really is, but NIP, okay, they do manage to get the second op out again. No triple ops this time around, but
take note.
To be
bomb in spawn and fast presence towards long. Glaive, he's not interested in that Molotov. Now Lecro, can you be the hero? Get Right's already found one. Glaive, he's trying to apply pressure and he does do just that one. Nearly 2, yes he does convert it. Get Right gone, 2 headshots, 2 kills. And 2 CTs missing from long. Dupree now gonna catch Rez's aggression on tunnels. Is he though? Rez so quick. Shooting from the hip with that AUG.
Oh, look at the HP on Glaive as well after that battle. He does get 2 frags to his name, but I mean, you could pretty much just whisper at him and he'll topple over.
People were telling me that Dust 2 is T-sided.
Yeah.
This game is contrary to that.
It's about as far away from it as you can get, but it's definitely providing some entertainment, that's for sure. NIP fighting back here. 5 rounds in a row for them.
This would be huge. No one has touched Astralis yet. Pushed, yes. Enix did it. Liquid did it on this very map alone. Astralis have the luxury now where they are basically playing an entire quote-unquote group stage in this round robin on one map.
Question here is, though, there are 2 ops on the side of NIP. If they miss the connections on the cross...
Draken's not even looking at it.
Yeah,
Forrest is holding the cross.
Exactly. So Draken can put some pressure on, but he can't necessarily push the site with an op here in this scenario. Smokes go down.
Draken, you have to turn around. You have to catch that cross. He doesn't onto the round. The molly's good. That's going to make things really uncomfortable. 30 seconds, the flames do burn, and Forest nade catches Glaive. It was the hard work of Get Right early on long. Finished off, and Draken does just that. That's the 10th. Double digits for NIP, and they continue their streak. 6 now in a row. Yeah,
they refuse to give up, and well, this is looking more and more like the major match we saw.
We have a game.
We finally do. And I mean, there's no stopping NIP so far, and I mean, it's going to be tough for Astralis to do so as well. They don't really have too much money to work with here. I mean, they've bought up on Magic. Dupree, Glaive follows up as well. Device is not going to have an op. He goes for a scout. And he's been so impactful. And yeah, that nade barely touches Glaive. But yeah, due to that 1 HP, that's all it takes.
Ooh, playing anti-flash. He's counting on his teammates. So brave from Magis, but at long control. I was going to say for free, but I don't think Get Right's interested in handing out any discounts.
Well, he does have Lecro over by Car as well. They might have to give this up. They can post up forwards with the op back in sight and then focus on short control with the 2 rifles. That's what they're going to do as well.
You're starting to understand that scout buy from the Device now.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we saw the first buy run.
Oh, I really understand it. He knew he'd have to hold the long angle.
Yep.
Does it with the scout, the discount AWP.
Lecro, how brave are you going to be here?
Brave. Device has got another one with the scout. It doesn't matter what weapon he's using. Dominance from Device. He's closing in on 30, and now Get Right forced into a very uncomfortable scenario. He's alone. Draken and Rez, they're casting eyes from CT, but Astralis, they are spreading their plague across the side, trying to jump to stop Zipnix. It's not connecting. Just a couple of bullets to his toes, but he's managed to evade the majority, the brunt of that force. And now NIP, the streak's over, but they want to keep hold of these weapons.
Yeah. They might even actually want to...
Well, take him away from Astralis.
Exactly. Well, they're not being successful with it, though. Pre doing a great job. Draken finally connects with 1, but you need preferably 2 more for this to have any real effect. I would assume that Device is looking to pick up that off drop from forwards at some point.
That is a very painful position to be in for Draken. Just pushed 5 very capable aimers, 4 after his frag onto Glaive.
And Dupree actually picks up that off at the very end of it. Drops it off for Device, and he picked up an AUG as well, so that's probably going to go to, well, one of the fallen comrades.
Device, though.
He's having a game and a half, isn't he?
He makes that scout look like the best $1,700 you could spend in the server.
It really does. And I mean, the one thing that worked for NIP at the start, the one way they got around was, you know, putting Draken in pit.
Yeah.
And playing off of that, Astralis having struggles on their T side, doing the same, finding success as well. I mean, obviously, you can't necessarily rely on devices doming heads left and right every single round with a scout, but now at least you have weapons.
Somewhat of a luxury afforded to Astralis when you have a player like Device. What's he on now?
26.
A bit more of a quiet T side, understandable.
Lekr, though, he's still creeping close. Nice little flash assist from Forrest there to allow Lekr to get the opening frag. Not too much damage taken either. I'll be happy with that. Lekr now at 24. So he's doing a job to keep up with Device here as he just rolls on through the NIP defenses.
Now, whilst they do have an advantage, yes, NIP get that early frag courtesy of Lekr. There are so many nades still in the hands of the Danes. It's likely they're going to regroup and apply some pressure. Will it be Get Right riding solo in long? It looks like they're casting their eyes towards that and already lines up a smoke. Device has that one in his hands. In fact, they all have nades in their hands. They're going to be setting up Magisk.
Sitnix, Glaive, and Device all throwing out nades.
What have you got? Get Right. Glaive did it.
Oh, they're sectioning off Get Right completely.
Oh, we can't even find one. Magisk so quick with the Org. Back to a 4v4.
Oh, how brave are you going to be here, Lekr?
I kind of like it. 30 seconds. He just wants to take time away from Astralis now. If he can push through this, if he can catch them with a flash, he can't even get one. Magisk so good. And now Draken, he has to do so much with this AWP. He's still paranoid about short. He doesn't have a team to support him. He doesn't want to go too wide, not forgetting about Device on long. That's fantastic, though. Magisk's gone after the damage he's done. Flashes, Molotovs, everything thrown at him. Rez, what is that? The Glaive had the bomb. He looked caught out for the first time, I think, this game. He looked a little awkward, and it's extended. Great work with the boost from NIP.
4 seconds.
It's over.
That's over.
And NIP, they take the round. What a series of events that was. Glaive actually kind of fumbling a little bit there. He was caught on the other side of the smoke.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he got flashed as he's walking through and then, you know, Straves thinking he's in a different place than he is.
I'd love to see that again. I don't know if we can. We see Lekr's early frag. This was Magisk. What a fantastic start. Yeah. Getting Astralis back into this round.
That's a quick snap as well. That is a massive frag, though, from Draken. A follow-up as well. Wins them the round. 11 on the board. There's still money on the side of Astralis for now.
And we are off. 26 rounds of play already. And NIP have managed to make the second half of them look considerably more competitive.
We've yet to see Astralis really focus on that mid area. We saw a lot more of that from NIP in terms of smoking off CT spawn, seeing if it can get a B split going. Lekr's been playing a lot towards mid, even if there hasn't been too much pressure. Then again, they've been finding openings in mid quite a bit as Astralis make their way up short. And again, it's going to be more of the same for Astralis. The Danes not seemingly finding a recipe for success here on the T side. Tried a little bit of everything.
He knows they're coming. A response in the form of a smoke. He chooses to push through it with the flash from his teammates, but he's going to be caught off just on the edge of the smoke. Grey screen for Dupree. Lekr quite the opposite.
That's such a big get as well. That allows for Draken and Rez both to play just tightly on that B bomb site. Don't have to worry about mid for now.
The bomb's on its way towards B. Sitnix and Glaive to pinch from mid.
If Rez and Draken can get both of the players from tunnel, that's going to be a world of difference.
That's
but
everything.
Instead,
Draken. It's again Draken who has to save the day for NIP. He did it once. Can he do it again? That's quick. Surely not a second. Magisk from behind. That's the site open. And now one of the hardest sites to retake in Counter-Strike history is under full Astralis control for round 50.
Yeah, luckily for NIP, though, no nades on the side of Astralis. Nothing really to work with. They've got one flash and Magisk. That's it. We'll see how NIP use their utility to get into this, though.
3 flashes. I mean, it has to be now. There's one. Nade's going to come over as well. Lekr, you just have to find something. And Get Right, he's got them away in. Device gone. That's a hard hitter. Forced to watch as now they push in. And Lekr, has he done enough? Magisk trying to be the hero, and he won't be. And they do it. NIP keep the dream alive of being the first team to take a game off of Astralis. It's a long way to go. Every round, a marathon. But 14-12, the Swedes retake B.
Yeah, no, this is a hard-fought battle for NIP, to say the least.
Device, I mean, that... Oh,
you don't usually win out those duels.
I mean, Rez, he wasn't anticipating such a quick appearance. He went from nothing to 0 to 100 once again.
Yeah.
Suddenly there's an AWP, suddenly it's Device, and you're forced to just count on the AWP to solo hold the B side. Draken did well to get that one.
Yeah, the fact that he double scopes and still finds the guy coming in through door is just amazing. That's the Draken angle, right? Like
it is, yeah.
Oh, man. And a bit of a timeout coming in here as well.
Yeah, like, I'm going to take a timeout, actually.
Need a breather here. This is so back and forth. And NIP, they're just doing such a good job of finding that first pick that barely puts them over the edge in these close after-plant positions or just late clock situations. Now, though, the money bonus is working in its favor for Astralis here, so they will get another buy-in, but it's costly.
Lekro is working overtime for NIP right now. He's he's keeping on par with Device, and after what was an exceptional performance from him, you just have to give a whole lot of credit to the in-game leader of NIP, frag leader too.
He's doing it all.
Oh, they're charging. Rez, so good on the T side. Can he do the same on the CT? 1, 2, Draken's there to find a second, and now he doesn't actually get away with the repeat. Xyp9x punishes him through the doors. Now the site is theirs. Surely NIP can't retake it. It's the same scenario again. A different setup this time. Mad just given Tunnel's responsibility. Get right. He found Device previously.
A lot more utility on both sides as well. Magic, though, with the aggression here down towards lower, might be a little bit too much. It might give an opening for Get Right.
See him? He's looking that way.
Oh, he did.
He's made the
That's
call.
why Lekro's waiting.
You can see Lekro's playing the waiting game. This is going to punish Astralis. Device, in the meantime, catches Get Right on tons. Now 2v2. Plenty of time and plenty of nades, Halvor. This is about to be a very intense brawl.
Oh, no. Lekro misses the Molotov.
Oh, it's problematic. The nade doesn't land too. Xyp9x holding that window. You just can't push in. What do? Hits the half scope. Half of his health gone. Still can't find the second. That's quick from Lekro. Can he be the hero? My goodness. 3 from Xyp9x. Finds the 15th for Astralis. 3 frags from the man with the 9 in his name. That is exceptional. Oh, it's so intense.
Imagine if that Molotov lands from Lekro, though.
Where did it go?
It's meant to go towards Plateau, but it just fizzles out too quickly because it throws its... Like, the arc of it is a little bit too high. So just peters into nothing. But obviously, Device would have been completely screwed there. And you could see that Forrest was setting up for, you know, Device to flee from that area.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that would have been, you know, put Xyp9x in a pretty much impossible situation. Forrest can suicide in there. They know where he is. And Lekro could get the trade in. Oh, man. And look at what that's done to the buy of NIP.
It's so weird. It's a double AWP, double Deeg, and a cheeky MP9 for Get Right.
Oh, they do have some solid Eagle players in both Lekro and Rez. We've already seen that in this game. And the double AWP has definitely been working for NIP. Let's see, though. Get Right's a sole defender with an MP9. That could get scary.
I mean, I'm all fearful for Rez.
Oh, Draken. He's basically setting up a bait for Rez here. Question is if Astralis are going to actually Molotov and flash it out. They are. And Rez, you're left to your own devices here.
It's all on him and his Deagle. He gets 1. He's so good with this pistol. Surely not a third. He does to the belly button of Magis. Just a pistol. 1 bullet off from closing out another, but Device, he goes wide for both. Round's not over. Match could be over. Get Right's on the rotate. Bombs on short. Xyp9x is there to support as well as they scavenge away some extra utility. We'll see how far that gets them. Get Right, that MP9 is not in the ideal circumstance. He actually uses that smoke from Astralis to cross the site safely.
Oh, did he actually get spotted there?
It's unlikely.
Xyp9x might have gotten a drop of a arm, top of a head or something. No, he doesn't know.
That makes that MP9 infinitely more powerful. Get Right just has to play the waiting game here. You can see them crawling in. He's anticipating someone. Oh, caught with a nade in his hand. It's traded. Device, 3 so far in this round. It would be the ace to secure the game.
On half HP as well. That's 1 Deagle connection from a decent distance on Lekro. That would be the end of Device. He's trying to bait someone out here. They're extremely far apart here on the side of NIP.
By delaying that plant, it actually has enabled the CTs to group up just a little bit more.
Whizzing past his head.
Oh, Device, he's got a shot onto Lekro. He doesn't miss these. And now all onto Forrest. He's late to the party. An ace. 1v2 clutch. Of course they do it. Astralis, untouchable.